Sunday morning. Well, law enforcement in New York, big controversy. With us today is the United States Attorney for the Southern District, the biggest U.S. Attorney's office in the country. We have Jay Clayton with us, and he has the responsibility given to him by President Trump to keep New York going and keep New York safe. And Jay Clayton, there's so many things going on. Where do you want to start this Sunday morning?
You know what, John? This morning, I want to start with some good news. And I think it's good news for the people of New York. And I've been in this job for over a year now and know that the people of New York are unified on a number of things. So one of them is they want violent, gun-toting criminals off our streets. And together with the NYPD, and they are the greatest, they're the greatest police force in the world, working hand in hand with them and with our partners at the FBI and other law enforcement agencies, we just calculated some numbers, and we have over 225 gun-toting criminals who've shot at people in the last year are either detained pending trial or are serving time in federal prison. John, that's 225 people in New York that shouldn't be on our streets, who are not on our streets. And that's thanks to the partnership.
And the bad news is, Jay, that the fact is that if they went to local district attorneys or state or whatever, they'd be in the streets again. Isn't that one of the problems we have?
Unfortunately, John, that is a fair statement. Now, it's a combination of things. It's the laws at the state are not what they should be. I know that people in Albany, I won't say people in the city of New York, but people in Albany are pushing to improve some of those laws, particularly around bail and the like. But you're right, John. We have needed to bring federal powers to this situation. And I am proud to say that in partnership with the police and in partnership with others, we've done it. It's not perfect, but crime is way down. And crime is way down, particularly in the violent area, thanks to that partnership. And I think it's what the people of New York want.
Understood. And that's what people want. And I am praying and hoping that Governor Hochul has better control over the attorney generals and not the state attorney generals that what are the 51 districts and 51 counties in New York?
And yes, and John, you're so right. I'm hoping that people see that with this focus, and we're not talking about petty crime or petty criminals. We're talking about career offenders, people who have multiple gun arrests, multiple violent crime arrests and convictions, and focusing on those, the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst should be off the streets, and I hope that our partners in the state and our partners in the local DAs are seeing that this makes a difference. And the people of New York should say, hey, it makes a difference. Get those career gun-toting violent criminals off the streets. No one wants them on the streets, John.
And I understand that we've both spoken to the White House, and the priority is to get the major criminals off the streets first. And I think that 85–90% of the people believe that we're doing the right thing.
I would go 95, John. I mean, I would. Who takes the other side of that? Who says that a person who's multiple gun arrests, multiple gun convictions, shooting somebody, who says, you know what, let's let that person out on the streets? You know who says that? Someone who doesn't live in a place where they're likely to get shot by that guy. That's who says it.
100%.
Let's be real about this. The people who are separated from the consequences of crime are the only ones who want those people on the streets.
We want a safe New York, safe New York City, New York State, and we want all politicians to be going in the right direction, that they want the same thing too. I don't understand some of the politicians that they don't want the boats carrying drugs to our cities. They don't want them shut down. I mean, I scratch my head. I don't understand that. And, look, we want our kids to grow up in a great city, a great state, and a great country.
I could not agree more. And I know that our job is it's guns and drugs and sex trafficking. Stopping those three things is what every parent wants, because if you can remove those three things from our communities, from our most challenged communities, the kids have a much better chance.
And I talked to Frank Tarantino, who's in charge of drug enforcement in the Northeast here, and he says that ever since we shut down Venezuela, that things are much better in drugs. Have you seen that too?
We shut down Venezuela, and we're doing everything we can to shut down the Sinaloa cartel, which basically was controlling the Sinaloa state in Mexico. John, we cannot have Mexico as our deep economic partner and have parts of Mexico controlled by drug cartels who ship fentanyl and cocaine, or fentanyl disguised as cocaine, into our country. It's just not tenable. We can't have an economic partner like that.
We all agree, and like we've said before, I'm disappointed in China, because China could shut that down in 5 minutes if they wanted to.
John, China is not doing their job on that. They're not doing their job on precursor chemicals that are used to manufacture in these pill mills with oxy and meth and all the drugs that we know debilitate neighborhoods and communities. No one thinks that China is doing what they can do to help. In fact, I think they turned a blind eye or even an encouraging eye to it.
We talked about murderers and criminals on the streets. We talked about drugs. What's the next item that you most worry about in the Southern District?
Well, the next item is the sex trafficking that we're focusing on. But I want to bring also another positive point. We've got violent crime down. John, artificial intelligence and better data is going to help us root out fraud and waste in the public benefit system. The amount of money that is wasted in federal benefits or state benefits that are supported by the federal government in New York City and other communities is staggering. And I'm telling you that artificial intelligence is going to help us catch the criminals. And just like we're focusing on the most violent criminals, we're going to focus on the biggest cheats. And this is a warning to them. What used to take us a month to figure out, with AI and the right data, we can figure out in a day. And we're going to come after them.
Now, the other thing I've seen in the New York State budget was they just passed the budget, and what is it, Medicaid or Medicare, where the big problem is? It's up. Is it Medicaid?
Medicaid is the big problem, and it's the big.
It's up to $125 billion in New York State. How can that be possible? $125 billion for 19 million people in New York State, and I think Florida, the whole state, is only like $33 billion.
It's about incentives, John. There is no incentive for anyone in the system to reduce that number. Everybody does better the bigger that number is. That's very unfortunate. It's a poor structure. What we're going to do, and this is right from President Trump to Vice President Vance to the fraud section at Main Justice, we are going to focus on this, and where there is fraud, we are going to bring cases. And the data is going to help us. This needs to change. But there is no incentive for the state to do any better because the federal government reimburses it.
Well, I recommended to the people, the powers that be in Washington, that there should be an additional person in there to sign off before the check goes out.
I think, John, whatever we can do, I think you're right, and the American people should see this data. They should know how much waste there is in that system.
Anything else you want to say to the American people on a Sunday morning?
I want to say that New York is hosting some of the greatest events this summer. We've got the World Cup, we've got America 250, we've got other things, and that we at the Justice Department, at the Southern District, are working with Commissioner Tisch and the FBI, and we're going to do everything we can to keep the people of New York safe through all these events.
Jay Clayton, United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for keeping New Yorkers safe, and God bless you and God bless America. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.